So this chapter opens up with us seeing the Great Philosopher, who is A-class rank 13. He's taking on just some random tiger level crocodile monster. And Great Philosopher is surprisingly pretty important to One Punch Man, or at least if you're like hardcore about it, I suppose, because he's oddly kind of integral to like the power scaling of the series. Because back in volume 10's bonus chapter, which is called Numbers, Child Emperor winds up making like this power scaling mask, and it winds up rating like a bear like power level 905. And in comparison to that, like a normal worker at the Hero Association is like 22. The B class hero Darkness Blade is like 759. And then coming to an A class hero rank 10 like Stinger, who we saw was able to take out some of the sea folk, he's like a 1600. But then Great Philosopher is 2442. So that just goes to show you how powerful he really is for an A class hero. In fact, I'm pretty sure the other heroes from the Hero Association who see him in this chapter say that he is the physically strongest A class hero. That doesn't mean that he's like the overall most powerful. Like, I'm very confident the Atomic's disciples are way more powerful and capable than him. They're just not as like physically strong as he is. Sorry, I didn't mean to flex. This is helpful insight into showing us how strong the Neo heroes are in this chapter, or more so their power suits. Because this is the first time we're seeing them as like an organization in action. We saw a couple chapters ago that they finally got the green light to begin like their active duty as a hero organization, and Blue, the leader of the Neo heroes, he went out looking for my mask. But now we're seeing the rest of them as a whole are like going out and starting duty. And as Great Philosopher like defeats one of these crocodile tiger level monsters, like a whole group of them come up and just gang up on him and just start beating him down. Like, he's pretty strong to take down at least one individual tiger, but going against a group of them, it's going to be pretty difficult, especially by himself. But this is when the Neo heroes come in. These are just like the regular Neo heroes. They're not Neo leaders or whatever. There's random guys with suits on, and they're just destroying these tiger level crocodile monsters. And as some other Hero Association heroes come in to help Great Philosopher, he says that they're like amateurish in their movements. Like, they're not like skilled fighters or whatever, but their strength, speed, and agility and overall physical prowess surpasses his own. So yeah, if he was like 2442, they're probably close to, if not over, like 3000 level in strength. So just one of these power suits that you get from becoming a Neo hero will make you like way stronger than the physically strongest A-class hero in the Hero Association. But first, guys, have you ever wanted to make your own manga? Now you can, and pretty easily, actually. All you gotta do is just check out Polybuzz's Manga Create feature. I'll have the link in the description. If you just go to that link, you'll be presented with this little box where you can type your prompt into, and it'll make nearly anything into a manga for you, and it's actually pretty impressive. Like, here are some examples of things that other people have made, and judging from what I've seen, you can take it pretty far. But I typed in, let's follow the current One Punch Man story, but what if Saitama lost his power? And the result is really impressive. Saitama's like, right, let's wrap this up. I have a sale to catch at the supermarket. You know, typical Saitama. Normal punch, and then pat. And it doesn't affect the monster at all. It's like, ouch, that actually hurt? And then the monster's like, was that a greeting? Saitama's like, wait, my strength is gone? And then the monster's about to punch him, die, insect. And he's like, no, wait. So guys, again, check out the link in the description for Polybuzz's Manga Create feature. It's pretty fun. Thanks, guys. Also, we're seeing that some of the heroes here are the Soda Pop Boys, which I think they're getting like a rename here. Maybe they're being renamed to like the Neo Lightly Carbonated Boys or something like that. It depends on what localization the translators want to use. We saw these guys back in, I think, chapter 174. It was the chapter when My Mask started getting interested in Saitama, and My Mask's like talent agency was trying to promote them as like the next big thing, trying to make them like the One Direction of the Hero Association, essentially. But they weren't like really serious about being heroes. They weren't even really like C-class level. I think only 2 of them were. They were kind of just using that as a stepping stone to become like the real One Direction of the One Punch Man world. They wound up having like a mutual beef with a My Mask because of that. But now we're seeing that, like, yeah, they just didn't go with the Hero Association. They decided to join the Neo Heroes, which is obviously the smarter move, because now they're as strong as they are, and without the suits, they would just be essentially civilians. But then after this, the the leader of the crocodile monsters comes out, and he's huge. He's implied to be like a demon level. Now, to give more context to the power scaling here, back in that numbers bonus chapter, it said that a demon level was around like 7,000 in strength. So just to show you the difference between like Great Philosopher 2442 going to a demon level, it's almost triple in strength. So yeah, the Neo lightly carbonated soda pop boys or whatever with the power suits still aren't strong enough to take them on. I mean, if all of the Neo heroes here with suits were to gang up on this demon level crocodile monster, they probably could high diff them or mid diff them maybe, but again, they're just regular people. They're not like trained heroes, so of course they're scared of this demon level monster. But it doesn't really matter because Webigaza is here. Webigaza, one of the Neo leaders of the Neo heroes, which is like their version of the S-class heroes. When she was introduced originally with the rest of the Neo leaders, it was revealed that she was like a pop idol, just like a My Mask, although definitely not on his level, you know, one of the lower tier ones, I guess, but still has a sizable audience. She was inspired by a My Mask to become a hero as well, but I guess she just didn't have any kind of inherent talent to become strong just naturally the way that other humans do. I mean, not like a My Mask, you know, became a freaking monster as we found out, but she decided to go the alternate route and became like a cyborg. And she wound up having like 71% of her body modified, which is pretty powerful. I mean, as we're going to see, she's S-class level for sure. But in comparison to other like ultra powerful cyborgs, such as like the enforcers of the Neo heroes, who aren't even a part of like the Neo leaders, they're kind of just like a part of the organization as a whole. They're like 94 and 95%, which I'm assuming is around Genos level. But we're seeing that she's live streaming her taking on this demon level crocodile monster because, you know, she's trying to still be an idol as well as a hero at the same time. She's just trying to be like the new My Mask. And now that that role is definitely open, because, you know, like we talked about, a My Mask revealed to be a monster, he's public enemy number 1 at this point, she can fill that role of being like the big idol hero. And she winds up doing like her named move, which is like a Webby Thunder, and it's like this heart energy lightning blast thing, and she blows through this crocodile monster very easily, essentially one-shotting him. So yeah, she passes the S-class hero test, or should I say passes like the stronger S-class hero test, because an S-class hero should be able to take on a demon level minimum, but if you could just one-shot one, you're, you know, one of the stronger S-class heroes for sure. Then we're getting a little more insight into Webigaza's backstory here. Like I said, she was an idol inspired by a My Mask, underwent cyborgification, which altered 71% of her, but we're finding out a little more. So apparently she got pumped full of experimental drugs, and also she had surgery done to her brain to awaken potential psychic abilities. Now that's fascinating because we found out a couple arcs ago, the group that bought Tatsumaki from her parents to use her for like experimentation was called Tsukuyomi. And the modern day Tsukuyomi is doing this procedures to people. They're like giving them brain surgery to make them into artificial espers. So I'm assuming that this is connected to what's going on with Webigaza, or they're using the same type of procedure that Tsukuyomi does, or all of these organizations are working together. Like the organization that does cyborgification here, which we're going to find out eventually in this arc who they are, but that's going to be a couple years from now. But Webigaza might be the first like trifecta that we've seen in the series. She has like cyborgification, Esper, and then the mysterious unknown drugs or whatever, I'm assuming has something to do with monsterization. I mean, clearly she's not a monster, or at least it doesn't appear that she is, but that might give her like monster strength or something like that. I don't really know, but I think that the drug aspect has something to do with monsters, because that's like the 3 big things going on in the series, right? The 3 big antagonistic powers. Also, it turns out that she like overheats easily. It says like she goes to 70 degrees, which I guess they're going off of Celsius here, which is like 158, somewhere around there, degrees in Fahrenheit. So she has to like keep drinking water to cool down. And as this is happening, we see Genos and Saitama randomly watching her live stream on their phone, and Genos is like, I'm very thankful for Dr. Kuseno, or something like that. Like, he's grateful that Dr. Kuseno made him the way that he does so that he doesn't overheat like that and has to keep drinking water. Genos is like incredibly advanced compared to Webigaza. Although Webigaza is definitely stronger than Genos was at the beginning of the series. It's just that Genos has come a very long way. He's had many upgrades and a lot of data to go off of since then. And then Saitama, watching this while he's eating, he's like, huh, an idol concert. Like, just oblivious to it, essentially. But, I mean, he kind of knows what's going on, but at the same time, he's still not really sure what the Neo Heroes are, I guess. Even though he's been told by Genos. Going off of the previous chapter, he still kind of thought that the Hero Name Victim Association was like a major player compared to them or something. Yeah, this is just planting more of the seeds, I guess, for Saitama to be aware of the Neo Heroes going forward. Because technically, he still hasn't met Blue yet. In the previous chapter, Genos prevented Blue from like fully encountering him as he was like taking my mask away. But yeah, this is just the beginning of the introduction of the Neo Heroes here. We're seeing like the second Neo leader in action. The first we saw Blue in the previous chapter. And then after this, I think we're going to see a few more of them get into action. So yeah, let me know what you thought about this in the comments, guys. If you liked it, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day and I'll see you in the next one.